What if I told you that sin is not the enemy, not the devil, not temptation, not even evil? What if the real danger of sin is not punishment, but self-destruction? Because sin doesn't just break rules, it breaks people. It doesn't attack God first, it attacks you, your mind, your future, your relationships, your purpose. And the scariest part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. They think sin is pleasure, freedom, power, expression. But in reality, sin is slow suicide of the soul. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never see sin the same way again. For centuries, people have been taught that sin is simply doing bad things, breaking commandments, disobeying rules, violating moral codes. But that definition is incomplete. Because if sin was only about rules, why does it destroy people even when no one is watching? Why does it ruin lives in silence? Think about it. Lust doesn't just offend God, it rewires the brain. Greed doesn't just break commandments, it destroys relationships. Pride doesn't just offend heaven, it isolates the soul. Envy doesn't just cause jealousy, it poisons the heart. Sin is not just moral failure, sin is internal collapse. The Bible never presents sin as merely legal wrongdoing. It presents sin as something far more dangerous, something that kills from the inside. Proverbs 14:12 says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death." Not as something powerful. Sin always feels right at the beginning. It promises pleasure, it promises relief, it promises power, but it never shows the ending. Sin is like a beautiful door that opens into darkness. Let's be honest, if sin felt terrible immediately, nobody would do it. Sin seduces before it destroys. It whispers, just once, no one will know. You deserve this. It's not that serious. But sin never stays small. James 1:14-15 explains it perfectly. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Look at the progression. Desire to sin to death. Not physical death only. Spiritual death, emotional death, purpose death. Sin always grows. It starts as curiosity, then habit, then addiction, then identity. At first, you do sin. Later, sin does you. At first, you control it. Later, it controls you. This is why sin is not just evil. It is self-destruction disguised as freedom. Here's a truth most people never hear. Your sin does not hurt God the way it hurts you. God remains holy. God remains powerful. God remains complete. But you don't. When Adam sinned, God did not lose his throne. Adam lost his identity. When Samson sinned, God did not lose his power. Samson lost his strength. When Judas sinned, God did not lose his plan. Judas lost his soul. Sin doesn't dethrone God. It dethrones you. It strips you of clarity, purpose, peace, direction. It's like pouring poison into your own life while blaming the cup. You think sin is rebellion against God, but in reality, sin is rebellion against your own destiny. People often ask, why does God hate sin so much? Because God sees what sin does to his creation. Let's break it down. 1. Sin destroys your mind. Lust turns people into objects. Hatred turns people into enemies. Greed turns people into tools. Your perception becomes distorted. You stop seeing reality clearly. You start justifying what is killing you. 2. Sin destroys your relationships. Every betrayal started as a thought. Every broken marriage started as a desire. Every ruined friendship started as pride. Sin isolates. It makes you hide, and whatever you hide will eventually control you. 3. Sin destroys your identity. You stop being who you were created to be. You become what you repeatedly do. A liar becomes deception. A manipulator becomes manipulation. A proud person becomes arrogance itself. Sin reshapes the soul. 4. Sin destroys your future. Every bad decision has a delayed invoice. The bill always arrives later. Sin is like a loan with hidden interest. At first, it gives you pleasure. Later, it takes everything. Let's look at real stories. Samson, the strongest man who couldn't control himself. Samson didn't lose his power because God hated him. He lost his power because he loved his sin. His lust didn't just break rules, it blinded him, literally. He ended up grinding grain like a slave, not because God destroyed him, but because he destroyed himself. Saul, the king who destroyed his own throne. Saul was chosen by God, anointed, honored, empowered, but pride consumed him. He feared people more than God. His sin didn't remove God from heaven, it removed Saul from destiny. David, the king who paid the price of one night. David's sin with Bathsheba lasted one night, but the consequences lasted a lifetime. His family collapsed, his peace disappeared, his kingdom was shaken. Sin didn't make God weaker, it made David broken. Judas, the disciple who sold himself. Judas didn't betray Jesus because he hated him. He loved money more than truth. And in the end, he didn't just lose Jesus, he lost himself. Here is the uncomfortable truth. People defend sin because they don't want to admit it's killing them. They say, everyone does it. It's normal. It's my life. God understands. But truth doesn't change because it's unpopular. Poison doesn't become medicine because everyone drinks it. Sin is the only disease that convinces the patient that it's not a disease. People fight against sermons not because they hate religion, but because they fear self-exposure. Because deep down, they know something is wrong, but admitting it would require change, and change is painful. Let's go deeper. Why do humans destroy themselves? Because sin feeds the ego. It says, you are your own God. You don't need guidance. You define truth. But when humans become gods, they also become disasters. Think about it. A car without brakes is powerful, but deadly. A river without boundaries is free, but destructive. A person without moral limits is liberated, but lost. Sin removes boundaries, and boundaries are not prisons, they are protections. God's laws are not chains, they are guardrails. When you remove guardrails, you don't become free, you fall off the cliff. Sin always advertises happiness, but it never shows the aftermath. Porn promises pleasure, it delivers addiction. Greed promises wealth, it delivers emptiness. Pride promises greatness, it delivers loneliness. Revenge promises satisfaction, it delivers bitterness. Sin is the only salesman that never shows the warranty. It sells dreams and delivers nightmares. And by the time people realize it, they are already trapped. Here is the good news. Sin may damage you, but it does not define you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your worst decision. The same God who warns about sin also offers restoration. Isaiah 1:18 says, though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. God does not just condemn sin, he heals sinners. He doesn't just expose destruction, he offers reconstruction. Because while sin destroys, grace rebuilds. So next time you think about sin, don't ask, is this allowed? Ask, is this destroying me? Because sin is not just evil, it is self-sabotage, self-destruction, a slow erosion of purpose. And the most dangerous part, it often feels good until it's too late. But today, you still have a choice, not between pleasure and pain, but between destruction and destiny, between illusion and truth, between sin and life. If this message opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, comment, I choose life. Subscribe for deeper truths they don't teach in church or school. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the truth is not always comfortable, but it is always liberating.